looking for information on how to write Christian fiction, you've definitely come to the right place. This is CYF, which is Christian Youth Fiction, and we take authors and try to put into their hands the tools that they need to write Christian fiction. My name is Johnny Turner. I'm a published author, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you very much for tuning into this channel. It means a lot to us here at CYF. Today we're going to be looking at the audience in which we write for and how to pick and choose the audience. Before we do that though, I just want to do a shout out to Miss Geraldine Yount for joining me over the weekend for a book signing over at a local library there in Augusta, Georgia. We had a really wonderful time, and I got to meet a lot of different authors, local authors as a matter of fact, that we were able to share our books with the general public. But then also the book signing part of it was really cool. When you publish your book, part of that is promotion. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the series. But the main thing to just keep in mind is it was absolutely a blast, a fun time to meet other authors that share in your passion for writing books. Something else that we've been working on here at CYF is illustrating. Geraldine Yount, if you've been following us over on our Facebook page, which is Apple Blossoms the Book Series, you'll know that Geraldine Yount is my fellow book buddy and fellow author, but she has asked me to illustrate for her children's book, How to Get a Gorilla Out of Your House. I'm going to go ahead and put some pictures in here and show you in a slideshow some of the different illustrations that we've done, so you can see that not only do we write books here, but we also do illustrations too. And sometimes as an author, especially if you're an indie author or you're a self-published author, you have to do a lot of the work yourself. So it's an exciting for me because something I've always had a passion for is drawing and illustrating. So when Geraldine asked me and approached me about illustrating her book, it was a no-brainer for me. I jumped right on it, and I hope you enjoy some of those pictures too. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed those pictures and also the illustrations that we have for you. Now let's get on to what this video is really all about. And that is a series for authors to have the tools to write Christian fiction. The next thing that's on our list, if we could review a little bit, remember in Christian fiction to always put God first. That's number one. Number two, remember, pick your genre. That's very important also. Knowing what you're going to write. But then now today we're going to discuss the third element, and that is going to be choosing your audience. Now, keep in mind that when writing Christian fiction, you don't necessarily have, the mindset that you're writing for the masses. Actually, with Christian fiction, it's a very narrow and very select group of individual readers that you'll be writing for. So keeping that in mind, what you want to do is when you're choosing your audience, know that there's different, age groups, different categories, if you would, separating out the different, groups of audience that you will be writing for. The first one, I guess, is the littlest one, and that's your little children's books. Lots and lots of pictures, very few words, but it's made for the little, 0 to 1, 2 years old. Basically, it's just you reading to your child and introducing them to the pictures, the readings, and hopefully they'll be focusing on it. I know with my children, when they were at this age, even though they couldn't read, once they start hitting about the 2-year mark, I would ask them questions like, what do you think comes next? Different questions, to them. And then sometimes, if it was especially like their favorite book, then they would say, oh, this is what happens next. So even though they're not reading, they are getting a lot of that reading comprehension where they're focused on the story with you and they're developing those skills at an early age. The next group are going to be what I would call probably the early readers. That's probably your elementary school age, like pre-K elementary stage, where they're starting to pick up on words, they're starting to read. If you're from my generation, you'll remember the old Dick and Jane stories with their little dog Spot, see Spot run, these kind of things. Real short sentences, lots of pictures, but it's that recognition of words and being able to read them, and then also have that comprehension. So that would be like, I guess, the early reader stage there. From that point, then we go to the next audience group, which is going to be the, sorry about that. There, let's try that. All right, the next group that we're going to go to is going to be the, which is my group that I enjoy the most. These are going to be youth. Youth is usually between 9 years old and 12 years old. And again, like I said in previous videos, I believe with all my heart that this is the group of children that are reading the most that are out there in schools today as far as the young people go. So yes, they are picking up books, they are reading, they're starting to develop like styles of writing that they like, favorite authors. We read a lot of the classics in school, but once they get out of school and they have like a lot of the academic programs out there and reading programs where they get rewards, points if you would, for reading certain books or certain level of books, and then they could trade those points in and get prizes and stuff like that there at their local school. So wonderful thing going on there with the youth program and developing young readers. From the young readers, then we go into the next category, the next group of readers, and that would be the teens. Teens, high school. Again, still a lot with the classics, but then the teens are out there looking for good reads in the genres and that they enjoy the most. Also, they'll start picking out their favorite authors, but they're really starting to develop as a reader where they're going to be going as an adult and their favorites from there. The next category would be the young adults. This is, I guess, 18s to 20s. I guess you could put wherever age group you want, but it's usually, the late teens, early adult. And there is a plethora of books out there in this category. This is the one that's probably the most favorite and most popular for all the writers that are out there, because the young adults, they're just scooping them up left and right. There's a lot of the Divergent series. I know you're very familiar with that one. Just books on books on books that are out there for this age group. And again, this age group, as far as like, the young adult, it's good for all. I mean, the younger children and the youth, they enjoy reading it. A lot of adults will read it, easier reads for them, but still really good quality material that's out there. So the final category, and this is where a lot of people have trouble with. Some people just fall into it. I spoke to an author over the weekend, and he made certain that everybody understood that his book was not a young adult book, but an adult book and written on an adult level. Now, keeping that in mind, when we're talking about the adult, we're talking about the Pattersons, Mitchell, the authors that are out there that are truly adult fiction writers. And they know what they're doing, and they are good at it. Now, keep in mind, on the adult reader, man, they are out there, and they got the radar on. They are looking for their favorite author. They know what their genre of choice is, and they're always looking for the next good read. The important thing to remember is to always pray to God about it. If you haven't already chosen the audience in which you're going to be writing for, Look to God for direction in this area. He'll help you choose your genre. He'll definitely lead you in a direction that you need as far as the audience you're going to be writing for. I have a feeling you've already picked out, or you already know who you're going to write for, or what age group you're going to write for. If you would, leave your comments down at the bottom. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what age group and what genres. And if you leave a comment, I promise you I will definitely leave you a comment back and reply to it. Well, there you have it. Thank you everybody again for tuning into these videos. I can't tell you how exciting it is to see the views that are starting to come in. And as we prepare for our next video is going to be on establishing a plot, which is very important to writing a story. I hope you'll join us again. I'm Johnny Turner with CYF Christian Youth Fiction. Thank you for watching.